Welcome back to the video lectures. Today let us solve some of the remaining multiple choice questions, that is from the Environmental Studies Unit 2 Natural Resources. I have taken it as a part 2. Part 1 we have already done it. Around 30 questions we have solved in our previous session. So today let us take up the remaining multiple choice questions on environmental studies, natural resources. The first question, that is 31st question, is select the most environmentally friendly method of insect control from the following. The options are application of organophosphates, application of chlorinated hydrocarbons, application of pyrethrum, and the D option is crop rotation and intercropping. So D is the right option, crop rotation and intercropping, where no chemicals are used and environmentally friendly insect control can be brought about, because in intercropping what we do, we have different crops grown in the same field, like one row of one crop and another row of another crop and third row again the first crop. Like this, two crops can be alternately grown, or more than two types of crops can be grown in different lines or different layers. And how this helps in insect control, let us see. One crop will be protected by other crop from the insects. Like for example, if you are growing one line of beans and the other line you are growing of the leek or the onion, and again the bean and onion, like that. So the onion plantation or the leek plantation, it will act as insect repellent. It will repel the insects so that the beans crop is protected from the insect pests. And that is one method called as intercropping. And similarly, you can also use the crop which is insect repellent and another insect attractant, or one the normal food crop and another is the insect attractant. For example, a grass plant which is more attracting the insects can be alternately grown, a crop of the grass variety alternately grown with our the food crop, so that the insects will be attracted towards that grass only, and we can apply the insecticides to that grass crop only, or we can use even the vacuum suction pump which is fitted on the tractor, and that will suck the insects from that line of the grass plantation. So in this way, by intercropping we can bring about insect control, and crop rotation makes the soil rich in the nitrogen compounds, that is fertility of the soil is maintained. Like one crop of the leguminous plants you grow, and then another crop of the cereal next time, and in the next season you again grow the leguminous crop. So like this, by rotation cropping you can retain the fertility of the soil and keep the soil rich in nitrates. So that is possible by leguminous plants, whereas the other crops like cereal crop or any other food crop that may be using more nutrients from the soil, and continuously if you grow same plantation, then the soil becomes barren. So therefore crop rotation method is good for maintaining the soil fertility. So this is how the crop rotation and intercropping helps in environmental friendly agriculture. Now, which of the following is the most environment friendly agriculture? So here one more question based on the same concept. So options are use of chemical fertilizers and insecticides, use of insecticides and organic fertilizers, use of organic fertilizers and alternate method of insect control, use of chemical fertilizers and alternate method of insect control. So the best answer, the correct answer should be C, use of organic fertilizers and alternate method of insect control. You use the organic fertilizers like cow dung or compost to make the soil fertile and to see that the crop plants grow faster, and do not use chemicals for killing the insects. Some alternate method you employ, like what we have discussed in the previous question, or you can also make use of some predators of these insects like myna birds, which eat away the insects. You can allow them to be there in the agricultural field, or you have a small pond nearby where frogs will be growing. These frogs also control the insect population in that area. Next question, identify the non-renewable resource of energy from the following. Options are coal, fuel cell, wind power, wave power. We see that in fuel cell it is the hydrogen used as the fuel, and it produces only the hot steam or water and heat as the exhaust, so not polluting the air. Wind power, which is also using the wind to rotate the turbine and generate electricity, and wave power uses the force or the pressure of the waves at the seashore. So all these are renewable sources. Coal only is the non-renewable source of energy. Question number 34. Mention the important disadvantages that is associated with most of the renewable energy sources. So most of the renewable energy sources are having one problem, that is unreliable supply. Supply is not reliable. So that is how, for example, solar system cannot work all the time. When it is cloudy and when it is rainy atmosphere, solar cells cannot function. What is the function of a fuel reformer in a fuel cell? Now, fuel cell, as we have already noted, that it is the cell which is using hydrogen as the fuel, and the energy present in between the bonds of the molecules is directly converted into electricity here. And as because the supplying hydrogen as a fuel needs generation of the hydrogen by some electrolytic method, this will not produce the huge amount of the hydrogen or fuel required. So better than that, that is in we are using here some electrolytic technique to generate hydrogen. But instead of that, if we use the hydrocarbon, and from the hydrocarbon, if the fuel is extracting only the hydrogen, so more hydrogen atoms will be available, and this will be more efficient. So that is what called as a fuel reformer in a fuel cell. So therefore the correct option is A, enabling the fuel cell to use a hydrocarbon instead of hydrogen. Which of the following are non-renewable resources? So forest, fossil fuel, animals, all of these are, if you look at all of these, forest and animals are renewable. So fossil fuel is the only thing which is non-renewable. Which of the following are renewable resources? Again, plants, animals, air, all the above is given. So all the above is correct. All of these are renewable resources. 38. We should use less fossil fuel because they are, options are highly polluting, exhaustible resources, difficult to produce, for all these reasons. So we should use less fossil fuel because all these reasons can be taken. So D will be the right answer. Question number 39. Both power and manure are provided by atomic plant, hydroelectric power station, biogas, all of the above. It is the biogas which provides us both manure and the power or electricity, because we are using here the cow dung and vegetable waste, agricultural waste to generate the methane, and at the same time we get the sludge which can be used as the manure in the agricultural field. Question number 40. Maximum per capita consumption of energy in the world is in. Of course, per capita consumption of energy is very high in industrialized Western countries. So that's the right answer. Common energy source in Indian villages is, of course, it is the wood and animal dung. Even today also in Indian villages, these two materials are used as energy source. Fossil fuels and metallic minerals are renewable resources, inexhaustible resources, non-renewable resources, none of these. So fossil fuels and metallic minerals are non-renewable resources. As we know, once they exhaust, we cannot get back them again. Which of the following is a renewable resource? Here, of course, from the given four options, coal, forest, petrol and diesel, forests are renewable resources. Question number 44. Soil erosion can be prevented by overgrazing, removal of vegetation, afforestation and deforestation. So soil erosion can be prevented by afforestation, that is growing the trees in open land. Land is important because it gives us space for building houses, produces food for us and animals, one of the factors of production. So therefore D will be the right answer for all these reasons. The most eco-friendly agriculture practice includes the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, organic fertilizers and chemical pesticides, organic fertilizers and biopesticides, none of these. So organic fertilizers and biopesticides is the right answer. We know that organic fertilizers, cow dung and compost can very well help in growth of the plants and increase the fertility of the soil, and at the same time, if you use the microorganisms like Bacillus thuringiensis, one kind of bacterial species which can kill the insect pests, the insect larvae which are feeding on the leaves of the plant, if they swallow the chemical produced by these bacteria, the gut of these larvae of the insects will be blasted and they will die out. So that is how the Bacillus thuringiensis can be used as the biopesticide. The most prevalent form of land degradation in India is, of course, it is desertification. Then going to question number 48, which of the following is responsible for desertification? Deforestation, overgrazing, soil erosion. So all these are responsible for the desertification. Therefore, all of these is right answer. 49. Desertification is due to high temperature and low rainfall, soil erosion, deforestation, both B and C. Here the right answer is both B and C, that is soil erosion and deforestation. Both are going to lead to desertification of the land, whereas high temperature and low rainfall leads to drought. Question number 50. Soil conservation is a process in which soil is aerated, soil erosion is allowed, sterile soil is made fertile, soil is protected against loss. So D is the right answer. Soil is protected against loss. Against the loss, that means soil is not allowed to be lost from the surface of the land by growing trees over there. Question number 51. The best soil for healthy and vigorous growth of most plants is, of course, it is loamy soil, which is a mixture of clay and sand. Only clay if you have, it will not allow much percolation of the water and water logging takes place, and that will again do not allow the plants to grow. And if you take up sandy soil only, it is more loose sand, it will not have firm grip. The plants cannot be anchored firmly into it. Percolation is good, but a blow of wind can uproot the plant easily from the sandy soil. So loamy soil is good for growth of the plant because it gives a strong anchoring for the roots of the plant, as well as allow proper percolation of the water. Water cannot be retained there, or there cannot be water logging. Rather, whatever amount of water is needed for the plant, that much is available in the loamy soil. Question number 52. Use of nuclear energy often causes air pollution, water pollution, thermal pollution, noise pollution. So the right answer is thermal pollution, because the water let out from the nuclear power plant into the nearby river or pond, that will be the hot water, and that increases the temperature of the natural water body, and that kills the fish species and other organisms in the water. Question number 53. Soil erosion is loss of topsoil, loss of vegetation, withering of rocks, landslides. So right answer is loss of topsoil here. Question number 54. Removal of top fertile layer of soil by wind or water is called as, of course, soil erosion. Question number 55. Soil erosion reduces the storage capacity of dams, brings down the fertility of soil, leads to the desertification. So all of these will be the right answer. Okay, now let us take up question number 56. The removal of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and storing it in the terrestrial biosphere is known as, option A, carbon dating, B, carbon fixing, C, carbon sequestration, D, photo decomposition. So right answer here is carbon sequestration. What happens here is the carbon in the carbon dioxide is fixed into the carbohydrate or food or the organic compounds which are synthesized by the photosynthetic organisms. So if we have more and more area on the earth's surface covered with the green trees, forest area, more and more amount of carbon dioxide will be removed from the air, and it will be used in building the organic molecules or food for all the heterotrophs. Now question number 57. The interface between a terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic system is known as, the options are estuary, wetland, aquifer, none of these. So correct answer is wetland. We know that estuary is the place where the river joins the sea, where the salinity is between the fresh water and marine water. It's a mixed water. And aquifer, as we know, is the water that is stored under the ground, which we extract by means of bore wells. Then question number 58. Movement of seawater towards inland is called as, that is the seawater entering into the land area, and that is called as, options are transition zone, estuary, ecotone, salt water intrusion. So salt water intrusion is the right answer. Okay. Next question. Question number 59. Match the terms of column 1 with the appropriate terms of column 2. Solar energy, minerals, biogas is given under the column 1, and column 2 has exhaustible, renewable, inexhaustible. So the correct matching here in the given options A, B, C, it is A, the right answer, where solar energy is connected to inexhaustible, that is solar energy is inexhaustible. Minerals are the exhaustible resources, whereas biogas is renewable. Question number 60. The soil conservation practices include. So what are the practices which are involved in soil conservation? So the options given here: afforestation, controlling overgrazing, rotation of crops. So all of these will help in soil conservation. Therefore, D, all of these is the right answer. Question number 61. The word desertification was used first time in 1949 by, 4 options are there: Auberville, Robert Abraham, Sohail, none of these. So right answer is Auberville, the scientist who used this word first time. Question number 62. Effects of desertification are. So what are the effects of desertification? Let us see the 4 options given here. A, loss of biodiversity. B, change in climate and weather conditions. C, decline in world's food production. And D, all of these. So all of these is the right answer. Question number 63. Desert Development Program was implemented in. It was implemented in 1977-78. The next question is, the technique of dealing with desertification are. So what are the techniques to deal with desertification? They are given below here in 4 options: afforestation, construction of water harvesting structures, giving alternative source of income to people, all of these. So all of these will be the right answer, because afforestation, growing new forest area in barren open land, and construction of the means of water harvesting, whether you are harvesting the rainwater or you are desalinating the seawater and converting into fresh water. All these plants have to be fitted, and large area on the land in deserts can be converted into forest by importing the topsoil and then growing the trees over there. So all these activities of course involve the people, and people also get alternate source of income. So that's why all of these. Question number 65. The world ocean covers 71% of the Earth's surface, or about 361 million square kilometer, or 140 million square miles of the surface area of the Earth. So the options are true and false. So true is the right answer, because 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. Now let's take up some additional questions. Highest consumption of gold in the world is seen in. Options are Saudi Arabia, China, United States of America, India. So of course it's India, and India, that too state of Kerala, is the highest consumption of gold. We can see that it's the state where highest consumption of gold is seen. So India, all over the India also, gold is very popular. So highest consumption of gold in the world, if you take up, that is the India. Question number 67. The Eiffel Tower is made up of. Options are steel, copper, wrought iron, cast iron. It is the wrought iron, correct answer, which has very minimum quantity of carbon alloyed with the iron. Question number 68. Which mineral is used in making coins now? We know that in olden days, in the times of the kings and emperors, we know that the coins were made up of gold or silver, and later on they were made up of copper, and now the gold coins are made up of nickel. Question number 69. Which place is famous for manganese in Karnataka? Remember, it is Sondur in Ballari district where there is a mining of manganese going on, rich in manganese. That is in our own state, Karnataka. Then question number 70. Gold was accidentally discovered in California in the year, it is 1848. It is said that when there was digging and construction was going on for establishing a sawmill, the owner of the sawmill, when he was inspecting, he could see something shiny in the cut surface of the rock, and that is how the gold was first discovered in California. Before that, it was not found in California, rather they used to import it from other countries. Now with this question, we have come to an end of the MCQs on this topic of natural resources. I will meet you again with another topic in the next video lecture. Bye bye.